All right, guys, welcome to tonight's call. I just have a few quick announcements really quick. This week is Sean Week, and I am loving my challenge group. My challenge group is a lot of fun. I have a lot of people participating, which makes it awesome. Teresa's in there, and she is like awesome at like responding to everyone. So that I feel like brings more energy to the group too. So I'm not the only one commenting on people's posts. So that is super awesome. But I feel like a lot of people are loving Sean Week. I'm liking it. It's awesome. Today was like insanity on crack, like adding weights and stuff, like the push-up, extended tricep. Like, yeah, that got me. I was like, oh, what? We have still another minute? Like, but yeah, that felt good. So it's been a good program. And I feel like a lot of people too, because I have a lot of coaches in there as well. Some of you are in my group. And thank you for posting your Shakeologies, because that's been really helping. I feel like all of our customers too, because I've had a lot of people message me, I really want to try Shakeology. What is Shakeology? So just having them see that, it gives them that window of opportunity, and I can tell them about the challenge pack once it's done. The other thing that we have going on is June 19th, mark that on your calendars, for the sneak peek to Shift Shop. Shift Shop was going to be released in July. So this gives those people that have Beachbody On Demand, they will have access to that, that sneak peek. It's just going to be one workout program. So they can get the feel of what Shift Shop is going to be like. I did Shift Shop live with Chris Downing and Punta Cana, and it's a very fun program. It's a very mind-shifting workout. So I really like that. And I feel like, you know, when you're on your health and fitness journey, you have to do that mind shift. And I feel too, that's where your motivation comes, is when you do that mind shift too, and just have that drive and dedication and determination to wake up every morning to get your workout in. Let's see what else. And we are already at June 14th. So we're halfway through the month. Keep pushing to hit your goals. Success Club. I know a lot of you are, you know, aiming for a lot of things this month. If you're going to Summit, the cutoff, I forgot what day that was. I think it's the 16th of this month, the cutoff to be recognized at Summit for your rank if you are going to Summit. And I think that is it. So tonight we have Adam. I asked Adam to do this call because he's like, every morning he's always sending me these awesome motivational videos, and he helps me to see like my full potential in myself. And I'm like, I think I want you to speak on my call to my team, because I feel like it impacts everybody. And I try to do my best to tell you guys how incredible, amazing you are. And I think like Adam's energy, he just gets really pumped up and excited about it, will be awesome for you guys to hear what he has to say. And yeah, are you ready? He's still taking notes. I'm just kidding. He hurt his knee, so he's slow at walking, but he has to get an MRI done sometime. Oh, do you want to sit here? Okay. Maybe a little reach. Okay.
Hi. Obviously, Crystal just didn't want to talk herself, so you get to hear from me again. So, yeah, she wanted me to talk about potential, and I do listen to a lot of, actually, I quit listening to music as I work out. probably 95% of the time. And I've done this on and off over the years. I just listen to these motivation videos. They pump me up. I found that they pump me up more than music does. And they pump me up not just to hit it hard in the gym, but I find that I'm pumped up to just hit everything in life harder as I'm listening to those videos. So you're actually going to have some homework, but that's not just because I'm a teacher, but they're awesome. They help me recognize my potential too. So, but I'm just going to begin talking about Beachbody workouts. You know, did you ever start a Beachbody workout, or maybe think of the very first time that you started whatever Beachbody program, and after the warm-up is over and the actual workout begins, you're like, oh, wait, I didn't just do the workout, and it's actually kind of demotivating because you're tired and you realize that there's a lot more to go. I remember doing that. I remember years and years ago when I did the first P90X, and or maybe it was Insanity, but there was one definitely where I did the warm-up, and I feel like I'm in pretty good shape, but I was done after the warm-up, right? But now I can look back and think, or you finish the workout, because you don't just turn the TV off right there. You finish the workout, and then you're like, you know, you feel tired, but you feel great. You're like, wow, I just did that. Maybe I had to press pause a few times, but I just did that freaking thing, and I killed it. So at the beginning of that workout, was there any question in your mind that you weren't going to finish? Sometimes maybe, but probably not. Your potential to finish a workout is just like your potential to do anything in life. If you have in your mind that there's no way I'm going to turn the TV off and stop, I'm going to finish this no matter what, even if I have to press pause a few times. If you have that same mentality in life, then I think we accomplish so much more. We do accomplish so much more. We just have to have that mindset of knowing that we can finish and that we're not going to quit even when it gets hard. There was this guy, his name's Jesse Itzler. I don't know if I pronounced his name right. Maybe some of you heard of this, but he paid a Navy SEAL to live with him for a month. He knew that he could learn some things from this Navy SEAL. And on the very first day that this Navy SEAL came to live with him at his house, he asked Jesse, he says, how many pull-ups can you do? Show me. So he jumps up on the pull-up bar, and he says he's struggling hard. He does 8 pull-ups. And he barely got the eighth one. And the Navy SEAL says, okay, now do it again. So he tries to do it again. He tries to match it, and he only do 7. The SEAL tells him, okay, do it again. Of course, this time he gets 6. And the SEAL tells him, he says, we're not leaving the pull-up bar until you do 100. And Jesse's like, there's no way I can do 100. You just saw me struggle for 8. And the SEAL didn't care. He's like, well, we're staying here all day until you complete 100. And so slowly, it got down to where he was only able to do 1 at a time. He did 100 pull-ups. And yeah, it took a while, but the SEAL taught him a powerful lesson that day. And he said I don't think the SEAL created this, but the Navy SEALs call it the 40% rule. And it's the idea that when your mind is telling you you're done, you're really only 40% done. And it's easy to relate this to physical things, but we can relate this to everything. When we think that we're only done, when our mind is telling us that, that part of our mind is telling us that we're done, we have no more to give, we're really only 40% done. And you apply this to your life, and you begin to realize and recognize your potential. And it's really cool to see. So another thing that I was thinking about is it's interesting how Beachbody refers to their top coaches as diamonds. I don't know if this was by mistake, but you think about how a diamond is formed, and a diamond is formed through a ton and a ton of pressure, and it takes a long time. And it doesn't come from coal like a lot of people think. I actually started looking this up when I was thinking about it. But, a diamond's formed from hundreds of thousands of years of just this crazy amount of pressure. And so here are Beachbody coaches. You want to be diamonds. You want to be stars, right? But it comes only after a ton of pressure. It only comes after a lot of work and enduring that pressure. So just kind of interesting. But do you believe in yourself? That's a question that, hopefully eventually you don't need to ask yourself every day, but do you believe in yourself? How much do you believe in yourself? So I know you can't, or I can't hear you, but raise your hand if you've ever listened to Les Brown. Anything from Les Brown. Okay. So Les Brown is awesome. He's a powerful, motivational, call him a motivational speaker. I don't think that he would even like that term, but he's a lot more than that. But Les Brown says that the easiest thing he has ever done is earn $1 million. He says the hardest thing that he's ever had to do was believe that he could earn $1 million. So think about that. And that's pretty true for all of us. We have to get over that mind, that mindset, that block in our mind. The work isn't that hard. The working for it part is easy. It's believing that we can actually accomplish what we want to. That's the hard part. And if you're working on yourself every day, that personal development, then it helps you realize that your goals, how possible they really are. I know Beachbody's big into, making goals, and anyone who teaches any aspect of success in life is going to talk about goal making, and it really is important. Sometimes you don't need to know how you're going to accomplish that goal, but you need to recognize that that's your goal. I don't know if I shared this a few weeks ago, but one of my goals before I graduated, so I took a bunch of these acting classes in college just because I enjoyed them, and one of my goals was to be in a play before I graduated. And when I made that goal probably 4 years ago now, I was working 50 hours a week, working nights. I auditioned for a few plays, and I actually would have got a couple of the parts, but I couldn't do it with my schedule. I had that goal, and I put it on the back burner because, it's like, guess what? Feeding my kids was a little more important than that goal at the time. But that always remained a goal. I wanted to be in a play before I graduated from college. And just a couple months before I graduated, I met another teacher who was directing a play. And I ended up getting this part in the play, not like a lead role or anything, but it was the first play I'd ever been in my life. And I learned how hard it is to memorize lines. I worked on my few lines, and we had about 5 weeks of rehearsal, 3 weeks of performances, 5 nights a week. And at some point in there, I think it was Crystal that actually said, she's like, you had made a goal to be in a play before you graduated. And I was like, wow. I was like, I did. And I almost forgot about that goal. I had put it on the back burner. But I had put that goal out there, and I was able to accomplish that goal. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but it worked. It wasn't easy. Sometimes that's how goals happen, but it's so important to make that goal, of envision what you want. How can you accomplish something that you can't see? How can you accomplish something that you don't even have a goal for? So what are your goals? It's simple. Les Brown says it's simple, but it's not easy. You could have a long philosophical discussion on just that sentence, but it really is possible that you can live your dream. And I know that sounds cliche, but we have to work on ourselves if we want to live our dream. You got to work on yourself continually. You have to give up who you are now for what you want to become. That's another Les Brown quote. You have to give up who you are now for what you want to become. What do you want to become? Even if it's not Beachbody related. what do you want to become? You have to give up something, because doing the same things that you're doing right now, if I want a muscle to grow in a different way, I can't just do the same workout over and over again and expect different results. I have to change something. I have to change what I'm doing, who I am now, in order to become what I want to become. And another thing is, you can't wait. We can't wait for the conditions to be perfect, because they're never going to be perfect. You just need to work. Okay, if you're waking up early, you're waking up at 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, whatever it is, to get your workout in. When you wake up every day, or even before, when you go to bed the night before, maybe the condition wasn't perfect. It probably never is perfect that you were able to go to bed when you wanted to, that you were able to fall asleep when you wanted to. When you woke up at 5:30, whatever time it is, you probably don't feel, just jump out of bed, conditions are perfect, I feel great, I'm motivated, I had my pre-workout, whatever you need. Conditions aren't perfect, and they're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be perfect in working your physical workout, or in your Beachbody teams, finding coaches, finding challengers, running a bunch of challengers. Conditions are never going to be perfect, and so we can't wait for that. What are you laughing at? Challenge groups, challengers. Jeez. But you just have to work. It's not going to be easy. And another thing I love talking about, some of my friends, it seems like, especially like girl friends that I have that are girls, they say, "Oh, that's such a gym bro attitude, or bro gym talk, or slang, or whatever." But you have to learn to love the pain. Okay? You have to learn to embrace the struggle. And I might have talked about this too a few weeks ago, but I've learned to love the struggle in the gym, because I've seen little of the results, and I don't have the body that I want, but I know that if I keep working at it, that struggle, that pain will give me more results. And so because of that, I love the struggle. I love the pain. Okay. School, I actually learned to love school in college. High school, hated it. Right? Absolutely hated school. I was the kid that would get the grade that I needed so that I could play sports. But college taught me that this is going to be a long road, and if I don't learn to really love the struggle, I didn't love every subject, right? Math, I still freaking hate that thing, but I had to learn to love the struggle, and that's when I learned the most. And it made it so much more enjoyable. Right now, I still love learning, which is probably good because I'm a teacher. And it's not just enduring it. I'm not talking about just enduring it. I'm talking about loving it, knowing that it's getting you closer to your goal. If you can't embrace the struggle, then it's going to be hard to ever feel like you're at the destination. It's going to be hard to feel like you've ever reached your goal. It goes along with learning, loving the journey and that sort of stuff, but put in a more gym bro attitude or whatever. But learn to love the pain. So there are a lot of things that I don't feel like doing every day. But one thing I almost never struggle with doing is going to the gym. And like I said, I've learned to love the pain because I know that it's forcing results. Results are slow, but they do come. And it's the same thing watching Crystal build the business. Results are slow, but they do come. And it's true. The harder that you push towards that goal, the greater the results. There's all these memes about people in the gym. They're funny, right? These funny memes about people that are on their phones in the gym. And it says something like, showing the picture of someone on their phone, texting, and then just sitting on a bench. It's like, I spend 2 hours at the gym every day. Why am I not seeing results? And it's funny. You can't just put yourself in a position where you're pretending to work. You have to actually work hard. And the harder that you work, the greater the results will come. So a little story, I love hiking, and my older brother takes me on all these crazy adventures. There's times I thought that we might actually die. It's funny now, right? But on all these hikes, there always seems to be a point where we can see the peak off in the distance. We know where our ultimate goal is, but then we start hiking down. And it's always in my mind, I'm always like, why? We're hiking down? We want to go up. Why are we hiking down? And yeah, I know that eventually we'll start hiking up again, but I also know that by hiking down, we have to hike more up. And so my whole life, this is how hiking is, right? And but finally, I've realized that in order to get to the top, almost every time you're going to hike down first. That's just how it is. You hike down, you hike up, you hike down. But eventually, if you don't stop hiking, you get to the top. You just have to, it goes back to enjoying the journey. I need reminders every day of how important it is not to quit. I need reminders every day of my potential physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, socially. I need reminders every day. And that's one reason why I listen to just these kind of motivation, pump me up videos every day. It all goes back to personal development. And there's still times where I don't feel motivated. There's still times where I can listen to, motivational videos till my ears bleed, but I still don't feel motivated. Yeah. Personal tragedies still strike. But I promise that if you're working on yourself, that you'll be prepared to handle it. You'll be more prepared to handle it than if you weren't working on yourself, if you weren't doing that personal development. I need it every day. You can't listen. I dare you. Listen to Les Brown, listen to Eric Thomas, listen to Tony Robbins, listen to Jim Rohn. I can give you a list of 500 different ones. And I dare you to listen to these guys talk, or these women talk, and not be motivated and not realize that you have more to offer. You can't do it. You can't listen to this every day, these positive messages, and not realize that you have so much potential to help people, to help your family, to help others, to do what you were put here on earth to do. You have to be working on yourself in order to recognize that. You have to have faith. And if you're doing everything you're supposed to do, you're working on yourself, you recognize your passion, your goals, it'll work out. Not in our time frame, usually, the time frame that we desire it to be, but it will work out. We just have to keep working at it. Doesn't mean there's not going to be disappointments. Okay, like I said, I'm a teacher. I just graduated in December. I'm grateful to have a job. It's not at the place that I see myself at long term. I had an interview in a place called Heber, Utah, last week. And growing up in Maine, everything's really green. Okay, lots of trees, everything's really green. It's beautiful. Winters suck, but Maine is beautiful. I loved growing up there. Ever since coming out to Utah, I miss trees. I miss seeing so much green, right? But I love the mountains, so I stay here. And going back to Heber, okay? Heber is the closest thing to Maine in Utah that I've seen. It's a beautiful town. We want to get out of the city. This is a place that passes ordinances, making sure that everyone's allowed to have chickens in their front yard. Like it's a really cool place, maybe a little hippie, but it's green. It's beautiful. I really wanted to get this teacher job there. I had an interview and I was super excited about it. I feel like I interviewed really well. I sat in a panel of 6 people from the school, and interview went great. Felt like I answered questions on the spot, and I had built a good relationship with these people in 25 minutes. And then they gave me the whole, great, we'll call you within 2 weeks. It's just like, okay, you give me that? All right. They called me 2 days later, and I actually didn't have my phone, but I listened to their message, and it said, we're going another direction. Oh, yeah, it felt great, right? The best answer you can get. We're going in another direction. So I was a bit crushed, and I had this picture of my mind, my family living in this town, and really beginning that next chapter in our life, buying a house, getting a dog, like just some simple things. But that wasn't the plan. And even though I wanted it to be, sometimes, even though we recognize our potential and we have faith, sometimes we still get no. But I recognize and I believe and I have faith that just means is something even better is planned. There is something even better than Heber, Utah. Right? I know what I have to offer is great. And not to sound arrogant, but I know that I'm one of the best health teachers out there because I have a passion for everything health related. I love teaching. I love helping others recognize all the different aspects, all the things related to health. And because of that passion, I know that I'll find something even better. It's just not time for Heber. So yeah, I am still a little bitter towards Heber, but so moving on, I went to college. I just read this book called Gifted Hands by Ben Carson. And it's about, maybe you've heard of this guy, this surgeon neurosurgeon who he's been in the news multiple times for these pretty incredible surgeries, like separating Siamese twins and whatnot, stuff that had never been done. Anyway, he has a pretty cool life story. And in the end, he talks about barriers in life. When something blocks our path, something blocks our desired path in life, do we see it as like a blockade? Do we see it as a big cement divider that we're not allowed to cross? Or do we see it as a hurdle? And hurdles are intended to be jumped over. So something stops our path. Do we see it as a barrier or do we see it as a hurdle? And the potential that we all have is that we can jump over that. So I thought that was pretty cool. I've noticed that when I'm not working on myself, I think even if one day, I think I can miss some personal development for just one day, I see a difference in myself. And it's never a good one. When I miss that, when I stop working on myself for just a day, negative emotions win that day. When I'm not living up to my potential, I'm going to call it my spirit knows it, and I feel like crap. When I'm not working towards what my potential knows I can work towards. And ultimately, I'm not afraid of failure so much anymore, but I'm afraid of not living up to my potential. That's probably my biggest fear, is that I don't live up to my potential. Because I know that I have so much potential. Again, I don't want to come across as arrogant, but I'm going to do everything I can to live up to my potential. And I know that we all can. One reason I didn't start college until I was 28 was math. I did horrible in math in high school, struggled. And how the heck was how could I have the audacity to think I could do good in college math if I couldn't even do good in high school math? And that was my mentality going into college at 28 years old, 10 years after having taken my last math class. And obviously I got through it. I did not learn to enjoy math. Actually, I did a little bit for one of the easier math classes, but what I did learn is that I can accomplish anything, including college algebra and calculus, if that is what I need to do to get to where I want to be. You know, that fear of not wanting to take a college math class slowed down my my beginning college, and it's sad that fear is what did it. But eventually, I obviously triumphed over it. Nelson Mandela, I like one of his quotes. Speaking about that, he said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it." We can triumph over fear. We just don't let it win. You have to learn to live outside your comfort zone, because that's where you reach your potential. You're never going to reach your potential living in your comfort zone. If you feel like everything is perfect in life, sometimes it is, but if you feel like you're just absolutely comfortable and happy with everything, probably not living up to your potential. And that might be a bold statement. I don't want to offend anybody, but we have to live outside our comfort zone, because you're not here to be comfortable. You're here to help other people, and you can't do that living in your comfort zone. And it's funny, because as you do more things that are outside your comfort level, all of a sudden you're comfortable doing those things. Then you have to find more things that are outside your comfort zone, and it just gets bigger and bigger. But we have to live outside our comfort zone in order to reach our potential. I know that for a fact. A lot of big successful people, motivational speakers, and successful people in business, whatever, they say the biggest thing stopping us from reaching our potential is fear. Well, guess what? It's not supposed to be easy, because there's no growth in easy. It goes back to learning to love the pain, embrace the struggle. It's not going to be easy. If it's easy, you're doing it wrong. Okay? You do that workout, and you might have to press pause a few times, but you never even think of turning the TV off. Okay? It's not an option. If ultimate failure is not an option for you, then it's never going to happen. In 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, would you rather look back and say, wow, I stumbled along the way, but look at me now? Or do you want to say, I wonder if? And I wonder if, like, that phrase sucks. I hate that phrase, I wonder if. I think we probably all have that phrase about things in our past. I wonder if. But it's not a phrase that I think invokes happy feelings. We need to do it. We need to make a goal that we won't say, I wonder if, at least in the negative aspect. So one of those adventures I was talking about that my brother's taken me on was hiking Rainier in Washington State. I was scared. It's a pretty good hike. Mountaineering hike, you're in the snow, you're roped up, you're using crampons, ice axes. There's some pretty dangerous spots. I felt a little scared, but I knew that I was prepared. I had doubts in myself, but I trusted in myself and in my brother who had hiked it a year or two previous. And while we were on this hike, a third member of our team, he got to Camp Muir after about an 8-hour hike that day, and he was done. He was toast. He said, I'm not going to be able to summit. And what most people do there is you set your tents up and you sleep for 4 or 5 hours, and then you summit, because you don't want to be at the top at a certain time, or else it gets too warm and the mountain starts falling apart and you might die. So anyway, the third member of our team quit. And as me and my brother were hiking to the summit, we passed a big group of about 15 people that I was on a guided trip, like guides that hike this mountain for a living. And there was a big snowstorm and they were turning back. And me and my brother decided to keep going. And you know what? Me and my brother got to the top. We were the first ones up that day, and for about 15 minutes while we were up there, the storm cleared and we were able to look out over the valley, and it made the whole struggle worth it. It also made it worth it was in the middle of that snowstorm, my older brother had to he had to go number 2. And in that snowstorm, roped up to me, I got to watch my brother. Anyway, sorry, off the topic, but pretty awesome story. Helped me enjoy the journey. I wouldn't trade it for anything, being on top of that mountain, knowing what we accomplished. And I remember just being overcome with gratitude. I didn't have to look back and say, I wonder if. Like our buddy did, who didn't even attempt to go to the top. You know, you got to do what's hard. Me and my brother have turned back on other mountains because we probably would have died, but we haven't given up. There's some mountains up there that they've beat us a few times, but we'll eventually beat them. And all of them, I've learned to enjoy the journey on those hikes. We have the potential to do great things, to help so many people, to help other people be happy, healthy. That's my mission in life as one of my missions in life as a health teacher. We have the ability to help other people reach their potential, but there's no shortcuts. There's no magic. There's no trick. You have to embrace the grind. Okay? If you can't embrace failure, then do you really deserve success? There's going to be failures. There's going to be pitfalls. There's going to be times when you're hiking down, you feel like you're hiking down, and you want to be hiking up. There's going to be times where you just have to turn back from that mountain for a little bit because the snowstorm came in. But if you can't embrace failure, do you really deserve success? And then finally, sacrifice. What are you sacrificing to reach your goals? What are you sacrificing to develop discipline? What are you sacrificing to develop yourself? Okay, what are we sacrificing to realize our potential? Sacrifice is always involved. You're never going to get to the top of the mountain without some sort of sacrifice. And so learn to recognize what you're sacrificing. If you want to self-improve, you have to stop looking for a shortcut. It cracks me up that I can see, and in health class, when we start talking about the fitness unit, all the kids are like, they want the shortcut. And you see these programs that are, I hope Beachbody doesn't have programs like this, but like 4-minute abs and stuff like that. Like, guess what? You do abs for 4 minutes a day, you're never going to get the abs that you want. There's no 4-minute abs. It's bullcrap. Hey, there's no shortcuts. 10-minute abs, oh, maybe you have to do it 4 times a day. But it's in you. It's in you know, we have the potential, but you have to work. You have to see it. You have to envision your goal. Going back to me being in that play, you might not know exactly how you're going to accomplish it. You might not be running out there and getting an agent to find you a play or something, but that's one of your goals and you put it out there and make sure that you know it, then sometimes it's just going to find you. But you have to be working on yourself. You have so much potential. I go back to just Crystal and watching how far she's come, not just since I've met her, but especially in the last 3 years. she has stepped out of her comfort zone over and over and over again. And because of it, our life has changed, and I hope that she's helped other people's. And I'll tell you what, I know that she's so dedicated to what she does and so willing to help other people succeed, whether physically with their physical goals or their business goals. It's always on her mind. And she's always working on something with it. And she has recognized her potential. I think only opened a little bit of it, but she recognizes what she's capable of, and I hope you all do too. But that's what I got. I hope it helps. Now, I told you you're going to have homework, so I hope you have a pen and paper. If not, shame on you for coming to class unprepared. Look under your desk for a pencil. There's always one there. Your homework is, I just want to give you some of my favorite videos. I can't even say they're my favorite. Maybe these are just some of the most recent. Some of these I listen to over and over again, but if you're going on YouTube and looking up, you listen to just one of these, it's going to lead you to 5 million more. But here are a couple of my favorites, and most of them are short. The first one's called Outcast. So if you write down to YouTube Outcast by Motivation Grid, Outcast by Motivation Grid, I think that's a good Les Brown one. Listen to it. Another one is Believe in Yourself by Motivation Grid. So Outcast by Motivation Grid, Believe in Yourself by Motivation Grid. This also by Motivation Grid. It's called Feel the Pain. Feel the Pain. And then I'll give you two more. Live What's in You by Les Brown. Live What's in You by Les Brown. And then What Are You Afraid Of by Motivation Archive. What Are You Afraid Of by Motivation Archive. If you ever need more, I can give you a million more. But you know how YouTube works. You listen to one of these and it's going to start pumping you similar videos. I don't think I've watched more than, I don't know, 1 out of 100 of these things. I just listen to them. They have little videos associated with them, right? Just videos from different movies and whatnot. But I just listen to them. And they pump me up and help me remember my potential, because I need that reminder every day. And I don't think that that's weakness, that I need that. I love it. So there you go. Thank you for listening, and see you later.
Holla. That was awesome. I took a ton of notes. And even though I could probably just go look at his notebook, but I took a lot of awesome things away from that. And, Adam reminds me every single day of these things. And when I come to him and I share with him my struggles, he says, what you got to do, right? And so it's true, though. We just have to embrace the struggle. We have to embrace that failure. And we have to learn to love it. And once we learn to love it, then we will fall more in love with what we do as coaches and why we're really here. So it was really good. And I will be sharing with you guys the homework, because I'm sure Adam's going to be like, well, did you do your homework? But I hope you guys got a lot of good takeaways from that and a lot of good notes. The thing is we can sit here and put it all on paper and we can listen to it, But really what we have to do is we have to take that action. We have to do it, right? We have to do the things that make us uncomfortable. And that's when we're going to really see ourselves grow. And when you grow, your business grows. You can help more people achieve more things. So yeah. Okay, guys, I will let you guys get back to your nights. I know some of you are like hitting the sack, but let me know if you guys have any questions, and let's keep rocking the rest of this month. Okay, guys, have a good night. Bye.